With at least 100 official X-Men, some are bound to slip through the cracks, from possible princesses to those with a power you wouldn't want to have. These are some heroes lost to X-Men history. It's hard to have a weird backstory in the Marvel Universe, everyone seems to have one, and yet somehow Eva managed to have the weirdest I've heard. EVA, or Eva, was grown in the body of a man. She was his nervous system in physical form. The man in question here is Fantomex, which we will get to in a second. While in her early stages, she was just a little bug-looking thing, almost like a little ship. She could fly and use electricity as a weapon. Eva now, as you may or frankly may not recognize her, has taken on a more human form. That happened when her host, Fantomex, died the first time. She mutated into the form of a human woman with silvery skin. Since Fantomex was her host at first, she always maintained a connection to him and was actually his lover. Eva's powers include electric charges, flight, she can change her size and body type, she can create powerful illusions. Additionally powerful, with Fantomex's help, she can regenerate pieces of her body should she lose them, and she is capable of being a weapon as herself. Fantomex is able to throw pieces of her that act like stun darts. Eva has about 70 appearances in total, with her last one around 2019. Now moving on to her host, Fantomex. I will admit he's been around more, around 150 appearances, which might sound like a lot, but the main X-Men in comparison have appearance counts in the thousands, so 150 is nothing. You're probably wondering how a man could grow Eva in him, manifest his nervous system into a girlfriend. Well, he was created not exactly 100% human, more like a human cyborg. He was part of the Weapon Plus project, and he actually goes by many names: Mutant Man of Mystery, Charlie Cluster 7, and Le Fantomex. See, Fantomex likes to use a French accent, a bad one, allegedly, because he knows it annoys people. There might also be additional reasons for it if you choose to believe him. According to Fantomex, he grew up in a virtual France and it wasn't perfect, so that's why he loves the French but is not a perfect Frenchman. Fantomex's powers include Eva, a healing factor, super intelligence, super strength, he is scent free, so very hard to track, and literally believes he is the best. He can't see anything is better than him or he will have a mental breakdown, I am not kidding. This extreme X-Men is catching waves but not a break. Slipstream, or Davis Cameron, was just your average Australian guy surfing, vibing, live, laugh, loving, but soon he would not be doing any of those things except living. He is alive, a win is a win. Slipstream, because he is a surfer, used a hoverboard as his means of transportation. His mutant ability was the ability to form quantum portals, also known as warp wave. The portals were used for transport over large or small or just any distance on Earth, and they could be used by anyone. Slipstream went a while not knowing he was a mutant. It wasn't until the X-Men showed up and told him and his sister Heather that the two were the children of a crime lord, and then Heather later revealed she was a mutant, so of course Slipstream had to get his powers activated by Sage. He helped the X-Men fight against alien invaders but was hurt pretty bad. When he left the hospital, he disappeared for a while but then showed up to fight off some people attacking Krakoa, so eventually he ended up there. Honestly, some of these mutants haven't exactly disappeared, they just don't get storylines after theirs is over, and they're usually only remembered by Marvel when they need extra mutants to fill out a scene, you know? Like, oh, Slipstream was in this battle, cool, great, but like, how is he doing? Mentally, how is he? Anyway, Slipstream has about 19 appearances total. Sister to Slipstream and Golden Girl, literally, Heather Cameron is Lifeguard. The golden Australian princess, she is all of those things, we'll get to the golden princess in a second, found out she was a mutant before her brother did. She, with Storm and Thunderbird, defeated some attackers, and that's when she discovered the mutant powers. And it's a really useful one too. She can clock what the present danger is to her or those around her, and her body will modify itself automatically to give her the right powers to save the day. So her power is like really fast adaptation. Some powers she has gained while confronted with danger include golden skin, told you we'd get there, extra arms, gills, wings, a fishtail to live for H2O, just add water dreams, and extra strength. So we've acknowledged the golden skin part, let's cover the princess thing. Lifeguard was on a mission to infiltrate a spaceship that belonged to an alien race. While doing that, Heather's appearance changed to the appearance of the alien race and her DNA switched around, and people think she may have been of royal alien descent based on the markings on her. Her brother couldn't handle the alien look, unfortunately, that his sister was sporting, and he disappeared, so she was looking for him for a long time. Eventually both siblings ended up on Krakoa. Lifeguard's name comes not only from her lifeguarding mutant powers, but also from the fact that she was a lifeguard back when she didn't know she was a mutant. In total, she also has about 19 appearances. Ariel the alien is an icon and a fascinating fashion icon bring her back. Her original design was this epic 80s fit, just lots of colors, and even in her redesign she's still full of color. She hails from this place called Coconut Grove, and it looks like your average nightclub. All the aliens there are capable of teleportation using doors. If there are no doors, too bad. Ariel is special and different though. She is a mutant in her world. She has the additional power, a power passed down through her family, of super persuasion. She is described as she who speaks like water running across the stones. Ariel can make people do or think almost anything she wants using her charming, persuasive voice. Ariel ended up in San Francisco at one point and then joined the X-Men and stayed affiliated with the team since. In total, Ariel has about 18 appearances. I feel like Coconut Grove is a vibe and sounds like a Mario Kart track, but if I could, I would transport myself there. Let me know in the comments where you would choose to transport yourself. Changeling is a forgotten man despite his major contributions to the Marvel Universe. The biggest thing he did for Marvel was die as Professor X, so even his big moments weren't fully him. Changeling is a shapeshifter. He has become many people, but two really stick out. One was Elvis in the middle of a car chase, and the other was Professor X. Changeling wasn't always an upstanding citizen. He was a bit of a menace at first, but a cancer diagnosis and a few months left to live changed the Changeling's whole perspective. He now wanted to do better in his last few months, so he went to Professor X. Professor X gave him quite the chance. Pretend to be him while he goes underground to prepare for an alien invasion. This worked for a while, and it had its perks for Changeling too. Before becoming the Professor, Changeling had telepathic abilities, but they were limited. When he did become the Professor, he needed more power in that department in order to fool everyone, so Professor X gave him a major power boost. As Professor X, Changeling passed during a battle with Grotesque. He was brought back to life for a brief stint for a She-Hulk storyline, that's when the Elvis thing happened, but in the end died again. Another version of this character does exist out there, and he does kind of eclipse this version. He was revamped, he got powers and better storylines, and a new name, Morph. But at his core, he is a shapeshifter, and the OG version had about 17 appearances total. Most duos that we've seen on this list are equally as known as the other. Not here though. You might have heard of the X-Men Sunpyre. Well, he has a sister, also an X-Men. She's named Sunpyre, and she has way less panel time with only about 7 appearances in comparison to her brother's 247. A reason for this could be that Sunpyre didn't know she had mutant abilities for a long time. We actually didn't see her discover them, but we do know it took a while for them to appear. Her powers, shockingly, have to do with the sun. She can absorb solar radiation and coat her body in fire. She can generate powerful blasts of energy known as plasma blasts. She can fly, she can create a very hot force field around herself that can melt incoming bullets, and she can sense heat signatures. She was part of the X-Men team for a brief moment, helping them retrieve Professor X from Magneto, but after that mission, she was done, she was gone. A very cool character that has a suspiciously low appearance count. I guess for Marvel, she's too hot to handle. Time-controlling mutants are common, but each one still deserves the time of day, including Sway. So Sway controls time, but you probably got that from my first sentence. Her time-controlling capabilities are for stopping time and making time replay. So it's not like going back in time, but instead she can go back to a spot and see like a phantom of what happened there, replay the events. What's cool about that is that other people can see the phantom images too. Her stopping time originally meant that everything stopped, but with training, she was able to stop select objects and everything else would be fine. Sway was originally Suzanne Chan, and her backstory is tragic. When is an X-Men backstory not, right? Her mutant ability manifested while out with her parents. Her family was caught in the crossfire of some bad people. Sway unconsciously stopped the bullet aimed at her, but because she didn't know she could do that, she couldn't save her parents. She was in and out of places that could not help her, but then found the X-Men. Well, the X-Men found her, kind of. Professor X needed to save the X-Men from Krakoa because it's not a safe space for mutants at that moment. He took her and 3 others and created a little team to get the original X-Men back. The island is where Sway met her demise, and now she's only appeared in minor appearances and is generally not the first mutant people think of when you ask, with only about 5 appearances in total. Sway, of course, made some friends while on that little X-Men team, and one was Petra, meaning rock in Greek. Petra handled all things Earth, so angiokinesis. She rocks, literally. She can manipulate rock into different shapes, even Sword's Minecraft queen in real life. She can also cause earthquakes and create holes in the earth, not like the center of the earth kinda deep, always. Sometimes it's just a little one is enough to incapacitate someone. She can also change the state of a piece of earth, like creating diamonds from coal or making glass from sand. Again, she is a Minecraft character in real life. Dust clouds, telekinetically flying on rocks, and consistency manipulation are also in her power set. The consistency thing is making the earth like wiggly or soft or smooth or all the opposite of those. Like Sway, Petra has a traumatic backstory. She accidentally caused her entire family to experience the fatal effects of a rock slide, and then she became an orphan and was placed in a foster home. Her foster father acted inappropriately towards her, but she trapped him in the ground, good for her. She went on the run, hiding in caves, a run-in with the police, and some training with Moira McTaggart later, and our girl was on the reserve X-Men team with Sway. She also met her end on the mutant island. Like Sway, Petra is also not at the forefront of most fans' mind with only 5-ish appearances, but that doesn't mean she didn't rock. I've heard this guy described as paste for plot holes. Apparently, he's been around since the beginning, helping out with major X-Men missions, but his horrible mutant ability means literally no one knows because they all forgot. We all forgot ForgetMeNot. ForgetMeNot literally is a mutant with the power of being forgotten. Even machines forget he's there. He was trapped once by a machine, but then it forgot he was there and he was able to escape. Though he is forgotten, he still exists. Obviously, if he drinks some orange juice, people can see the orange juice is gone, they just won't remember who did it. After missions with him, the other X-Men would be left with gaps in their memory. Eventually, Psylocke was able to put a part of the puzzle together. What's really tragic about ForgetMeNot is he literally sacrificed himself to save Krakoa from Nimrod, and no one remembers. In total, ForgetMeNot has about 14 appearances, and I just totally forgot who we were talking about. I'm kidding. ForgetMeNot, I will not forget you. Anyways, don't forget to like, subscribe, and make your mark on the comment section down below. This is Juliana, signing off. Bye!